Good morning from sunny San Diego. You're watching The Next Level with Dr. Rob Garcia. I am Dr. Rob, a business coach out of San Diego and 8-time author. The Next Level is a series of short, informative videos that teach you all the tactics of speed learning in order to help you grow your business so that one day you might be successful and rich and help people and might get a wolf couch. Everybody needs a wolf couch therapy. So without further ado, let's jump right into the lesson. Today we're going to be discussing diagramming and how it can make a huge impact on your business and your customer. So let's talk about diagramming real quick. What is it? It's a series of mapping out what's going on in your brain. It's a great way of organizing your thoughts. Diagramming has two intrinsic purposes. The first purpose is to capture all your creative thoughts, just to let you just let loose and write down anything that's going on in your brain so that you can capture these thoughts and explore options. And the second one is for developing relationships and structure within the variables of your business. So it could be income, it could be your customers, it could be your product lines. So diagramming is good for these two things. The first diagram we're going to talk about is going to be called hierarchical. Hierarchical is basically a rank or pyramid structure going from lowest to highest. Very easy to draw. It's just a series of boxes and lines usually, or circles and lines. In this case, I use hierarchical in order to get podcast appearances. For a lot of you guys that are out there and you're kind of new in business, you're trying to figure out how to get media attention, how to get on podcasts, how to expand your brand. Podcasts are a big deal, so I figured I'd tie in the diagram plus a lesson on how to get on them. So for hierarchical, I created this diagram for different types of podcasts. At the bottom, you have local podcasts or new podcasts. These have the lowest barriers to entry, which means you can contact them and probably get on the show pretty quick, but they also have the lowest audience. But these are a great way just to get started on podcasts, get comfortable. Then you have elevated 10 plus, which means that somebody that's done 10 shows or more, it means they're kind of serious and they're sticking in the game, so they have a bigger audience and they're your next step up. Then fast risers. Okay, write down 2 podcasts that are fast risers at 50 plus shows, which means they've been in the game for a little bit longer. They're established. They have their reputation and a much bigger audience. And then you got your iTunes top 100. If you can get on one of these shows, it's definitely going to be a giant boost in your brand and your profitability. So what I would suggest, if you're learning to make hierarchical diagrams and you want to get some podcast appearances, make one of these diagrams and then just do a Google search and start filling in podcasts that are specific to your niche. Maybe it's education, maybe it's business, maybe it's female entrepreneurs, but this is a great way in order to expand your presence and to get some practice at diagramming. So once again, this is hierarchical. Diagram number 2 that I'm going to show you is going to be called the infamous Venn diagram, V-E-N-N. All Venn does is it shows intersecting areas in a couple of different variables in your business. So for this diagram, I just chose something that everybody deals with. Your profits, where you get them from. So let's say for coaches, you get your profits from both coaching packages and from speaking. And the Venn diagram kind of shows where they intersect. So you can use it, like in this case, I just created a fictitious business where 70% comes from a retreat that you did, 20% comes from selling coaching packages, 10% comes from speaking. But Venn diagrams are a great way to show where your money is coming from, what is kind of a pain in the ass to put together, and what's actually worth doing. The 3 things that you should be looking at when you're examining your profitability are time, effort, and expense. So if your retreat is making a bunch of money, look at how much it costs to make the retreat, the time you have to put into it, and was it really worth it for the percentage that it brings in. So this is a Venn diagram. This can help your business quite a bit. Diagram number 3 is good for you creative types. This is called mind mapping, and I did 2 different types. So on this side, you have the creative mind map, which means you just sit down, you make a central idea, and then you just start mapping outward all the different sub-ideas. So let's say you're going to write a book. You put the book name right here, and then you write out like a chapter topic, another chapter topic, and a couple of them. And then within the chapter topics, you start to write the subsections of the chapter. So that's the creative version of mind mapping. Next is a structured mind map. I prefer to use straight lines for these, so I use squares, lines, rectangles, things like that. And in this case, I wrote down things that are services that are offered for my company, so all the different ways that I get money. Both of these mind maps are excellent ways to get your ideas out, maybe go to a coffee shop, and just to formulate what your next plan of attack is going to be for your business. Thanks again for watching my Next Level with Dr. Rob video. Diagramming is one of the techniques outlined in my new book, The Next Level Supercharged: How to Speed Learn Anything, available on Amazon and my website at bluedragonent.com. Thanks guys, see you next time. Sometimes you don't feel inspired until you close your eyes and see your empire. Then you realize those